crazy mother.
Welcome guys to the Natt Fitness Method. If you are watching today, I'm very excited because as you know from watching any of the other Natt Fitness methods, you're here because you believe in health and fitness. You believe in optimizing your life and taking your life from where you are and moving it in the direction of where you want to be. Having the strategies as well as the information is not enough. It requires execution and requires intentional action. So that is the focus. As you guys know, we have these conversations constantly about how to optimize performance, how do we create more energy, how do we move closer in the direction towards the relationships and ultimately steer away from the things that aren't going to help optimize us. And there's a lot of things that we could ultimately talk about, but nutrition is a vital component. I say vital because it's important, but it's also essential. You can't move in the direction anywhere, regardless of what you're talking about, what you want to do with your health or your body, if you're not taking advantage of nutrition. And although we're going to be sitting here having a conversation about some of these tools that you can definitely utilize, understand the most important piece is going to be food. You guys have probably heard about this, but you are a product of what you eat. Sounds corny, but it could not be more true. So, why supplements? Well, as you guys know, I am a huge advocate for not only eating clean food, but also for eating frequently throughout the day, because the body is designed to be able to absorb nutrients, stimulate the metabolism by putting all of the glucose, which is usable energy that we put inside a cell called glycogen, and using that for energy throughout the day, which we call ATP. We don't always get the adequate nutrition that we need, especially if you're in a position where you're rushing or you're not getting all of the food sources that you should be getting. The second piece is that as you become more and more physically active, it becomes even more vital to make sure that you're getting a high concentrated dose of what we call phytonutrients. Phytonutrients essentially help move the body towards the efficiency that it's designed to do and away from the diseases that we want to stay away from, like heart disease, cardiorespiratory disease, which causes heart attack, diabetes, so on and so forth. For everyone, doesn't matter if you're in a position where you're trying to lose weight, doesn't matter if you just want to have more energy through the day, it doesn't matter if you just want to sit and maintain, or if you're trying to actually put on a bunch of muscle, and if you see yourself as an optimal athlete that you actually are, keep in mind these are only tools designed to be able to help you. So the first one that I'm going to talk about is going to be protein. I always love starting with this one because, as you guys know, protein is made up of everything. Everything that we consume, usually that makes up our body tissue, is actual protein. It's an amino acid. Over the course of time, what ends up happening is through movement, high activity, or intentional exercise, that tissue breaks down. And as that tissue breaks down, we begin to go through a process called going catabolic. That's essentially what that means, to make sure that our body recovers and that we're in a more capable position in the next hour or the next day or the next week and so on and so forth, so that way you continue to move in the direction that you actually want to be with your body. It's important that you get protein. Now, again, can you get protein from multiple sources? Absolutely. This is just a supplement. You can obviously get protein through the meats that you eat, and if you guys are vegan or you don't put in a lot of protein, there's an enormous amount of protein that can come from certain vegetables. We won't talk too much about what those sources are, but make sure you guys understand 2 points. One, that your body and your tissue is made up of different kinds of proteins, and that you can get those first from foods, both meats and vegetables, and then what you actually want to do, and even certain carbohydrates, sorry, let me stand corrected, but you do want to supplement this. I do take this protein supplement, and I do this after every workout, usually no less than 10 minutes, if not sooner. The next crucial supplement that I'm going to talk about, and we already touched a little bit on this, is a multivitamin. The point of the multivitamin is to sit here and supplement the body with what you might not be getting via phytonutrients specifically, which is a combination of both minerals and vitamins, fat-soluble mostly vitamins, I'll explain that in a second, that you're not going to be getting through your diet. So fat-soluble vitamins are all vitamins that are basically induced in the body through fat system, okay? And to make sure that you're optimizing certain hormone production, whether that be melatonin, whether that be the counteraction of cortisol, not that cortisol is bad, but whether that also be removing free radicals that what's happening through antioxidants. But again, your body is designed to be able to mobilize this information and sort of filter out all the things that are bad and move you towards a more alkaline state. And that's exactly what multivitamins do. They help your body optimize the way that they should be. To understand, guys, there's a few other supplements here that I won't go into detail. I think this one is actually a glutamine. This one is a BCAA, branched chain amino acids, is what that stands for. And this is actually a pre-workout supplement. These things can be extremely beneficial. I'm not going to talk about them today. I'll talk about them in another video, but the only reason that I do have them, and I did want to make mention of this, is because I want you guys to understand that there's different stacks. You do not need to consume a large stack of 14 to 15 different supplements, and I say stacks just short for supplement lingo, to be healthy, to be the most vital support. If you're all about health and you're all about moving yourself forward, there's certain things that you can do to make sure that your body is moving in the right direction, but you don't need all these other things. What they're designed to do is optimize peak performance, whether you are an elite athlete, and make sure that the body moves itself from being catabolic to anabolic, much more efficient, much faster, and ultimately just repairing the tissue that you break down, whether that be the cartilage connective tissue that stabilizes from muscle to muscle or joint to muscle, or the bigger tissue itself, which is the skeletal muscle tissue that makes up your arms, your chest, your legs, everything. The last one that I will talk about is going to be an omega-3. Now, you guys might be very familiar with what omega-3 is, or fish oil. Omega-3 can be found in tons of your food. If you are a seafood eater, your seafood is completely filled with it. Obviously, salmons, ahi, tunas. Omega-3 is a trans fatty acid, and so it's really called a miracle pill because it does so many things, but it is vital for the repairing of skin. It's vital for the transportation of certain amino acids. It also helps with the boosting of the production of adipose tissue. And if you're not familiar with adipose tissue, it's actually a fat source that's in the body, but that fat source is a positive fat source, and you want to use that fat source because it actually helps you burn some of the negative fat, which we call visceral fat or subcutaneous, and helping you achieve a lower body fat percent. So long story short, this is a vital. It's good for your hair, it's good for your nails, it's good for just all around joint support. Like I said, again, it's sort of the physical. And if you're in a position where you don't eat seafood, but you do want to make sure that you're optimizing the omega-3, there's plenty of supplements that do get this from different sources. I know omega or flaxseed is really high, as well as a few other things, and omega-3 as well, so you'll be able to get your trans fatty acids in that way. Now, with that, make sure, most important, that you guys understand these are only tools. They're not meant to replace food. They're only meant to add in addition to what you may or may not already be doing. Having said that, you have been tuned in to the Natt Fitness Method. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I've definitely enjoyed making this, and I will look forward to connecting with you later. Till then, signing off.